Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am KRX, and we're going to be continuing with Portugal in this beginner's guide to Europa Universalis 4. Playing very slowly, playing thematically, kind of just building a foundation for our understanding of the game and how to make decisions and stuff like that. And for the most part, guys, to be honest, what are we, 10, 12 episodes in or something like that? I think at this point, guys, there's a lot of nitty-gritty stuff. You will continue to learn the game for hundreds and hundreds of hours, but we've discovered a lot of the core of the game. There's really not much more to talk about, although I do admit that there have been situations where I've gone too fast, situations where we could have elaborated things more, or I took something for granted, or I assumed there was inherent context when there wasn't. So without question, I don't think anyone as a brand new player is going to be able to watch these 10 episodes and immediately just have it absorbed all of the knowledge that we talked about here, right? Or understands completely everything that we've done. That's okay, because this game, for the most part, I think, we have tried to teach the game in a more thematic way and in a way that sets people up for success and to be able to make their own decisions and navigate through their own ecosystems and their own games. But at the same time, it's such a complicated beast. There is a level of repetition that's required, right? In terms of learning these concepts and experiencing these concepts and things like that. So I think what we want to do is we probably want to go into another war or two in North Africa and kind of go through that process again really slowly. Continue to kind of keep an eye on the colonization here. We're colonizing Cape Verde. It's going very, very slow, right? Only 20 per year, plus every month there's a 15% bonus per month. There's a chance 15% chance every month that we'll get just an influx of additional settlers, which will kind of make sure that won't take literally 100 years to finish. But we do need 1,000 colonists on Cape Verde before the colony becomes just a normal province. It just becomes a normal province that can start earning you base tax and production and manpower, and you can just assume that it's just part of your country at that point. And then you can move on to taking your colonists and moving them to a new part of the world, and we'll be able to reach the Caribbean quite easily. Although I want to make sure that we send our explorers through here back and forth enough times that we can actually get a good we don't have the range down here, right? And part of that is because we're colonizing Cape Verde. Once we get Cape Verde, I think that'll give us the range, but we'll have to see. There's some other things that we're working up towards in terms of boosting our colonial range. Diplomatic technology is a big factor on that. And we can see here diplomatic technology will get a big boost at level 7. This is our colonial range. At level 7, we get a big boost. We're only at 4 right now. So it's still very early days. We still have that institution tech penalty. That is something that we 100% absolutely need to resolve. We need to resolve that. And that is relating to the fact that we do not have the Renaissance. The Renaissance has not spread to our country. You can see that there's some provinces here that are at least getting a small amount of progress, but small is certainly the key word here. 0.1 per month. It's saying that it's going to take this literally 58 years for this to actually fill up. That's not going to do. So we're going to end up kind of fixing that another way. I think we mentioned before that we can develop provinces. One of the benefits we get for developing a province is we get Renaissance progress, right? So we're going to end up spending a lot of these points to dev up our own provinces, which actually isn't all bad, because that's an investment in our country, right? Yes, we want to save these for technologies, but we can also just make our provinces stronger, and that'll give us more base tax, more production, more manpower, and force limit, and all kinds of good stuff. So that's not going to be a bad thing, spending these points to dev up our country. That is an investment in our future. We are building a spy network with Morocco. It looks like we're at 30, which is the magic number. Although I think to get this province here, I think we're going to need... No, we can do it. Nice. We have exactly enough to get this province and get a claim on that one. So now that's a claim on these 3. Of course, we don't know if these guys are even going to exist here in a second, as we got Tlemcen here is coming in and sort of wrecking Morocco a little bit. What are our truce timers looking like here, right? We have a truce with Marrakesh that is ending in 2 years. We have a truce with Morocco, and we have a truce with Tlemcen. Or do we not? No truce with Tlemcen. If we attack Tlemcen, Castile will defend. Castile will defend. We do not want to fight Castile. Castile is our ally. So Castile has allied one of our enemies, unfortunately. The truce with the Ottomans here, or sorry, Granada, they're allied to the Ottomans. But the truce with these guys, that's going to come due in 1471 as well. I don't know exactly how we get those guys into another war. They're only allied to the Ottomans, so I'm not sure exactly how we're going to piece them apart. We could just attack these guys with Castile and just fight the Ottomans, and eventually the Ottomans are so far away they wouldn't really be able to come over here with any level of relevance. So even though the Ottomans are one of the most scary, powerful nations in the world, I don't think that they'd logistically be able to actually save Granada from destruction here. So we could just sort of attack Granada even knowing that the Ottomans would declare. It could also be that the Ottomans might find themselves in a precarious situation, in debt or in war or something like that, and that might give us an opportunity. Right now, they're actually 700 ducats in debt. They have some war exhaustion. They have some besieged provinces. So, and that's only going to get worse, right? They're in a war right now against the Mamluks. They're in a war against a few different nations at the moment. And if this war doesn't go so well for them, which actually it looks like it's kind of more of an even war, but I think the Ottomans will win this. Ottomans are a very powerful nation. The Mamluks kind of look more powerful than they actually are. And actually, if the wars for these guys up here, Ottomans will definitely be able to siege these guys down and win that. So, all right, we've done a little bit of sort of explaining the fact that I think for the most part, guys, you guys are kind of ready to go. You guys are ready to go. We've gone through most of the core concepts. We're going to go through another war again here, and we're going to keep playing a little bit as Portugal. But I think our time is coming to an end. I don't really want to make this into like a 50 episode playthrough, because at that point we kind of lose our connection to the beginning of the beginning concepts of the teach, right? Of the tutorial of the teaching here. I've noticed that usually as the episodes go on, I kind of get into the mode of just playing the game, which isn't what we're trying to do, right? We're not playing the game, we're teaching the game. We're teaching the game. Different thing entirely. We have some rebellion here. We could take a look at that. It looks like that these two provinces here are going to likely rebel eventually. Right now, there's no progress on them right now, but that should happen. It's saying about 6 years. Saying about 6 years, that'll happen here. We could make these states. I don't know if we've really talked about this at all yet, have we? So making these estates basically means that they won't be territories anymore. A territory has a minimum autonomy of 75. So territories, this is a 14 development province here in Fez. That's a good high development province, but we're only getting 25% of its value because there's 75% autonomy. It says territories cannot be lower than 75% autonomy. If you read that tooltip there, right? So we're getting 75% less production, 75% less taxes, 75% less manpower, all the things. Not good, right? Not good. Same here. Same with these provinces. That's 10 development, and that's a decent amount of total development between all of these. It's about 31 development state. Down here we have, well, there's 14, 24, 31. Ooh, plus this one. Holy cow, that's a good one. It's a good state. So I think we're going to want to state these. What we can do is we can check, because there isn't. Why not just state everything, Garrus? Well, there is a opportunity cost to stating these things, right? Because just in the sense that we have a limited amount of states. So if we state this, we might not be able to state something in the future. Turns out that this is a good thing to state. This is going to be a good one to state, assuming that we can complete the states, right? We do want to eventually complete Granada. We do eventually want to complete these provinces down here as well. Okay. So let's state these for now. And that's what this banner is telling us. You can now make states. This is going to cost us a little bit. We have basically, and the other cool thing about unstated land is that it costs less to core, right? We were talking about how we use administrative points to core. Well, if you don't state it, it's half cost. Coring territories is half cost. Now that we've stated these and we want to make them states, we need to pay full cost, which is an additional 50%. We have to pay the missing 50% to make it a actual sort of stated main core province of our country, right? Not a territory, but a state. So we actually have autonomy here. There's now 22. It's immediately updated that to where it is. You always have some autonomy. When you conquer a land, you always have some autonomy there. That's not going to change. But this is quite a bit lower than what it was, right? Quite a bit lower than what it was. So that is pretty nice. We have that pesky institution penalty still. Okay, let's let it roll, guys. We're waiting a few years. I think we're going to wait at least... You know what? Actually, how much money are we making? Not a lot. Not a lot, honestly. We have heavy ships here just kind of chilling. Those are quite expensive. Brittany wants a royal marriage. Do we want that with Brittany? I forgot. What's our relationship with Brittany? We already have an heir. We are allied with Brittany, so yeah, let's get the royal marriage. I don't think we're going to go up there and attack Brittany. We have a costly embargo. It's saying we have a costly embargo on Aragon. Why is that? Are we not rival to Aragon anymore? We are not. We can rival Morocco, though. That is awesome. Let's rival Morocco. But we have lost a rivalry with Aragon. I don't know why exactly, considering that they're still rival to us, but apparently we can't rival them. So let's revoke our embargo on Aragon. It's warning us that we have a costly embargo. We don't want to be embargoing our people that are not our rivals. We only really get a benefit from that if they are our rivals. It says we can convert a province, but that's saying it's going to take 144 months. 144 months. Holy cow, to convert Gibraltar. Now that is going to ultimately create a lot more peace in this region, right? If these guys are Catholic as well. But it's because we have such a low missionary strength. Their total missionary strength in the province is 0.7. So if we click on this, so we check out the hover over the Sunni religion here, or hover over the convert screen, because we can convert it from this side. I like to usually convert it from the main religious tab, right? The one that comes up when you click on this banner, because it just gives you all the information you need to see, right? All the information you need to see. In fact, we can convert this one at 333. That's like how many years? Like, we don't want to be spending that many years working on this. It's way too long. We need a way to get more missionary strength. That's what we need to do. Because if we can increase the missionary strength to like 1.7, that's going to radically reduce the time it's going to take us to convert that. And then also the cost, right? Because to convert this is actually going to cost us about 1/3 of a ducat per month. In fact, 1 ducat to convert this province because it's a higher development. So one thing there is, I do know that there are missionary dues that pop up here that help increase. Alternatively, we can also recruit additional guys here. Like there's a missionary strength guy here in the clergy. I just know that because we've played the game a bit. There's no way that you'd know this otherwise, but if you just kind of like go through these stata tabs things and you see that there are ministers and things that we can recruit from these estates. And it turns out that the clergy, this kind of makes sense, right? There is a thematic basis for this. We can recruit inquisitors. And these guys will be able to go through and essentially increase our ability to convert the provinces by 2%, actually. That's going to get us well above where we need to be. The thing is, we have a cooldown on this, so we can't use this for the next 9 years, right? In 9 years, this will become available again. It's going to be a while before that happens, so let's hit some of these other buttons, because I'm noticing we can demand more administrative power, so I'm going to seek the support. Hit that button, get 150 administrative power. That's going to be fantastic. We could double check here. It looks like, hey, we got a bunch of buttons to hit here. This is a grant new world charters. So it's going to give us extra settler increase rate. That's good. Let's do that. That does get them closer to 100%, so we got to keep an eye on that. We are going to demand diplomatic power, though. And the other button I was hitting there, right, the grant monopoly charters, this is basically the one that makes them happy. Because when you ask for demand diplomatic support, it lowers their loyalty. It lowers their happiness. So you have to counterbalance that with the grant monopoly charters. Those two basically kind of cancel each other out is what's going on there. So we don't have quite a missionary guide to actually convert these provinces. We could start on that. That's relatively cheap, but we're really not making that much money here. We are not making that much money here. Do we have our trade fleet protecting trade? Yeah, it looks like we have our fleet protecting trade. We just don't have enough, right? We're still just kind of, in a general sense, I feel like we just don't have enough light ships. Can we build more? More light ships, more money from trade, right? Because they can protect the trade in that area and give us more trade power. Doing a war against Castile, I know they're our friend right now, but man, they got some juicy provinces. They got some juicy provinces. These guys are going to get a little bit of durability back. We're only about, here, we're on speed 4 right now. Things are moving and grooving. Things are moving and grooving. We are going to hopefully declare war against either, we're going to figure out a war to declare, right? We know that Castile is still defending Tlemcen. So, oh, wait, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, guys, something just happened here. Something just happened here. Castile has lost their alliance. The alliance has been lost between Tlemcen and Castile. Now, Castile won't join us because they broke their alliance, there's a truce there. In fact, none of our allies will join us. Distant war for Brittany and England. The Papal State is thinking distant war as well. This is interesting. We could go 1v1 against Tlemcen and Marrakesh. That could be really, really good. I think we have cores or claims on a lot of this land up here. This could be really, really, really good for us. It kind of depends. We have to evaluate the situation. But let's evaluate the situation. We might be going to war with these guys, and that might actually protect. We might actually be able to protect Morocco, because right now Morocco is getting completely ravaged. Actually, there's a few things. Actually, is Tunis defending? Is Tunis actually trying to mount a defense of Morocco by sort of attacking Tlemcen from back here? Looks like it. Looks like it. This is an interesting sort of big giant stalemate war with a lot of casualties here in North Africa sort of fighting each other here. But I think this might be our opportunity. While Tunis is actually beating up on Tlemcen right now, we could take advantage of that and swoop in and get some stuff for ourselves. So let's go into the ledger, right? Going down here, this bottom down here, or L is a hotkey. And I always hit the button though. And go to armies. Go to military and then armies. And we're going to be looking around here at our rivals. And we're going to notice that Tlemcen has 11,000 potential troops. They have 13,000 manpower. We have a good amount of manpower in the reserves. That's our maximum manpower actually. So we're not gaining any new manpower because we're at our maximum. So losing some men in war isn't going to be a bad thing in this situation. We could actually build up our force limit up to 20,000. That might be worth doing. So we can get some more guys. So we can build a couple more troops. I'll build them across the straits for now, so they don't just instantly, they're not at risk of dying. Let's get our forts online. But it looks like this is going to be a clear victory here. We just got to start paying for the army. And that means we're going to start losing money. And I'm trying to think, like, is there a way that we can, like, not lose money? I think it'd be very risky, but we could not pay for this fort over here because I don't think Tlemcen's going to be able to get over there because I think Fez is going to create well, they can't get over here because of our navy. We have a much more powerful navy, and we'll send those into the Straits of Gibraltar to control and police this strait crossing here. So they can't actually get over to here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to wait for our men to regain their, morale. And then we should be able to go to war. This is going to be good. Oh, it looks like they're weakened. Holy cow, they are weakened right now. Did they just fight a big battle? How many troops do they have right now? Oh, they're down to 5,000 troops. They just fought a battle with Tunis. We're just trying to get our morale back. Let's go. Oh, they ended the war though. They did end the war. With Morocco? Morocco still exists? Do we still have a claim on this province? We do. We're Portugal. We do have a claim. That's our Portugal seal right there. Alternatively, we could always go to our diplomatic screen, right, to see that. So we have claims beautiful claims on all of these provinces here. I think for the most part, what we'll do is Morocco's looking a lot smaller now. That's interesting. I kind of want to attack them before we lose the rival status with them. Because if we could take a province and then maybe release them as we could maybe vassalize Morocco and use them as a sort of an avenue to reconquer the area down here, which would be really kind of interesting. Although they are going to be Sunni. They're going to be the wrong culture and they're going to be Sunni. So it would have been interesting to potentially have it set up in such a way. I don't know. We might just have to conquer Morocco directly because there's other things to consider. Morocco would actually hate us, right? They would be our subject, but if they hate us, they wouldn't actually help us really. It says we finished a mission. Build up to force. We want to finally hit that. We've been saving that for a long time, guys. So we're getting a little bit of extra morale of armies. We've been saving a little bit on our troops, which is kind of cool. Let's attack Tlemcen. We're going to be able to sneak attack them right here potentially, which is really, really cool. Really, really good luck here. I think we want the... I think we might actually make the war goal for this province back here because it's kind of undefended. And then it doesn't matter if Tunis comes and sieges this stuff because we need to control the war goal. And even if Tunis, like here's the thing, is Tunis still in the war with them? Somehow Morocco's out, but Tunis is still in. Okay, interesting. I see what's going on here. Tunis is on an aggressive war, I think, against Tlemcen. All right, here we go, guys. So we're going to declare war on Tlemcen because they are weak. One of their allies will not join. Marrakesh is pretty weak. They're just a small nation. I don't even need to look them up. They are insignificant right now. These guys won't join because they're getting completely ravaged. And Tlemcen is right here, and that's their entire army right there. We are ready to sort of sneak attack them. We can double check. We have Alfonso leading the armies because we kind of want him to die, just on the basis that we have a pretty good heir. We have a pretty good heir. We could try to roll another general, but we only have slots for 2 leaders, and we're already using both those leaders. So I think this is it. Let's attack. So we go to declare war with a free diplomat, declare war, and we are acknowledging that our allies will not join. Marrakesh will join their side. We don't have a truce. We have plenty of CBs, and we will just pick one of these provinces. Again, I'm going to pick this one because I think it'll be easy for us to control in the war. If we pick one of these up here, like for example, if we have a claim on this province here, but it's controlled by Tunis. We can't siege this because Tunis isn't going to be in the war. They're going to be in a separate war against Tlemcen. Totally different thing. We won't be able to de-siege what Tunis takes. So there is going to be a big land grab right here between us and Tunis, and we want to try to get as much of it as we can. We could also just humiliate them, but that won't allow us to take war, right? This disables the ability for us to take provinces in war, and what we're trying to do is take land. What we're trying to do is take land, so let's go take some land. Okay, it looks like they snuck by us right there. We do have quite a bit more speed than them, so we might be able to catch them in this province. Nope, they're too fast. They're too fast. That's fine. That's fine. Let's just sort of siege all this down. And what we could do is I can hit this button right here, detach siege, and that'll just detach the minimum amount of guys that we need to do a siege. And I'm just going to sort of grab those individual stacks by clicking on the main stack. It'll select the oh, Tunis is working on the capital. No. Okay, they're moving off. We need to get this capital for ourselves. We need to get this capital for ourselves. It's going to take 9,000 men to siege the capital. I'll give them 2,000 more just because they'll take a little bit of attrition. We do need to kind of evaluate what is going on with Marrakesh. Marrakesh is in this war as well, and we want to make sure that they don't like sneak attack us or something. They have 6,000 troops. I don't know if those 6,000 troops are over here fighting Tunis, or if they're back here, sort of trapped back here. I don't know. In fact, I'm not 100% sure if they have military access to us or not. Warriors do not read books, guys. Warriors do not read books. We're getting a technology cost penalty for the next 5 years. That's okay. We're not actually going to be teching up, really, for the next little bit. What is our military tech comparison between these nations? We're at 5. Marrakesh is at 5. And Tlemcen is at 5. Okay, so we're not behind on military tech. That's a good thing to check. We have explorers here that are not doing anything, and they're completely ready to go. So let's have them come up here and sort of do a lot of Caribbean exploration here. And come down here and kind of just zoom through here again, and I don't know. And hopefully just get a good general exploration on the Caribbean. So we want to see all those provinces so we can pick out the best ones to colonize. And of course, best is, it's a subjective concept. I'm just teasing. Just teasing. So we can't move to this province because this fort, Tlemcen, has a fort here. And they are, that's inhibiting our movement. That is inhibiting our movement. I'm going to take these troops back here. We're going to have to eventually go and get the war goal at some point. This is, what we could do is we could try to, actually this, it looks like Tunis is already sort of blockading Tlemcen here. So we don't need to do that ourselves. I don't want to leave all of these guys completely undefended here, but 10,000 should be more than whatever Tlemcen has. Eventually, the war between Tunis and Tlemcen will end. That will just kind of end on its own. We cannot actually... Oh, no, we can. We can. Okay. I think these guys might be hiding. Marrakesh might be hiding right now, or they might be over here. I'm not sure. We don't know, right? Fog of War. We do not know. I kind of want to convert that, but it's going to take so long to do it. That'll give us more colonial range. It's saying that we can do an idea group, and we're working on exploration ideas, right? This will give us significantly more colonial range, plus 50%. That'll get us to the Caribbean. That'll get us to the Caribbean. The next one that we can hit will give us global settler increase by 10%, which is really good too. Oh, that actually gave us more Legacy of the Navigador. That gave us more colonial range as well. We just got 75% additional colonial range. And eventually, if we get all the way up to here, we'll get some extra settler growth as well, which is nice. So, all good stuff there. It's saying we could get a technology, but there's this huge penalty, right? There's this huge penalty. What I think we want to do here is we want to be deving up Lisboa, okay? And there's a few things that developing up Lisboa is good because the capital, we get a big discount on this. There's a huge negative modifier for the cost of developing the capital, minus 8% there because it's the capital. That's actually not great, but it's also plus 24% because, well, it's a high development province already, right? The more you develop these provinces, the more expensive it is to continue to develop them. Also, grasslands doesn't give us a penalty, whereas like the wood, we get a developing in woods is a minus 15%, so that's more expensive than developing the capital. We could look for a province that's cheap to develop. Looks like 50 is kind of our lowest. What is the... But see, there's already more progress. We've already got a head start in Lisboa. I think we will develop the capital of Lisboa. We have choices here, guys. We have choices here. These have no Renaissance progress. So what we need to do, basically, watch this bar right here. As we develop a province, let's say we have very little diplo. We have a lot of military and admin, so it's going to be mostly military and admin that are getting this done for us. Military is the thing we have the lowest on, so I'm going to use that while it's cheap, because the price is going to go up fast. But you can see a little bit of a movement here, right? As we click these buttons, it's moving up. The other thing that's happening is we're getting more progress per month because this is a higher development province. That cost is going up fast, though. Like what was a cheap development is now quite a bit more expensive. We can't switch over to here because what we're trying to do is get this one province to embrace. So we just have to go for it here, guys. It's expensive. It's expensive, but we got it. Okay, so we have gotten it. The Renaissance has spawned basically in Lisboa, okay? That's going to now be spreading much, much, much faster in the nearby provinces. Now it's spreading at 1 per month. So now this will get done quickly. The other thing is now what we're trying to do is embrace it. We don't have to wait for it to spread everywhere. We just have to pay this cost. 334 ducats, and we can embrace, and that'll get us, this technology penalty will go away if we pay. So if we go here, we have to embrace, right? Until we've embraced, we could wait for it to spread to all of our provinces, and then it'll be free to embrace, but we have to hit this button eventually. And we have to pay for any provinces that do not have it embraced. And you can only hit this button if 10% have naturally embraced it. So right now we're at 22% of our total development because Lisboa is so powerful, because we've made Lisboa so powerful at 34 development, that it is actually 22% of our entire country's economy and tax and manpower. Our entire 22% of our entire country's development right now is just our capital in Lisboa, which isn't a bad thing. That's going to serve us well going into the future, right? The autonomy here is 0. We're benefiting from all those button presses. That's increasing our economy. That's increasing our production. That's increasing all kinds of good things. All kinds of good things. But we still can't tech up yet because we still have that penalty until we buy the institution, right? We have to buy this institution. One strategy for that is we could just take loans. We could take a bunch of loans, but then we have to pay those loans. Of course, we lose money, right? We lose interest on those loans. Tlemcen has fallen. That's really, really, really good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these guys, pull them back. I'm going to take a peek here at the actual war screen. This will give us a sense of, does Tlemcen still have their troops? They still have 5,000 troops. Oh, they're over here. We see them over here, though. They're actually retreating. They're retreating back to Marrakesh. Let's get everybody grouped up over here. As you can see, everything's been sieged over here. Between Tunis and between us, everything has been sieged. Is Tunis actually at war with Marrakesh? No, they're not. Looks like the fleet is being disengaged into the harbor here, and we'll be fighting Tunis. We could reinforce them with our navy. You guys should be protecting trade, but the heavies can come over here and we can kind of just sit on them and help them out a little bit. Why not? Sort of beat up the Tunis fleet a little bit more. We didn't capture any ships, though. We didn't lose any ships either, which was the important part. It says we completed a mission. What did we complete? Expand Portugal. Expand Portugal. Well, we did that because we boosted up Lisboa, but we're going to save this. That'll give us more base tax and production and manpower in Lisboa, but that'll give us a future development cost reduction by 10% when we need to dev up another province. Because guess what, guys? I hate to say it. The Renaissance is not the end of that. That very expensive push that we just spent, like 1,500 points on that, that's not the end, because colonialism is going to happen. And the good thing is, because we're a colonial nation, there's a good chance that we'll be the ones to actually embrace colonialism naturally. It might spawn in Portugal. That's going to be our goal. That's going to be our goal. And then we also have printing press and global trade. And every 50 years, right? Every 50 years, these things are going to be spawning on us. And we're going to have to be gathering up those institutions wherever they spawn. We could try to spawn them in our own country. That'll save us a huge amount of points and time. Or we could just sort of make sure that we get it to spread to our nation by hitting certain requirements and stuff. So we're going to save that mission. We're not going to hit that mission yet. That is because we're not planning on doing any development or construction at the moment. Okay, it looks like we are doing really, really well in this war. We just need to go and beat up Marrakesh. And that will be the end of this war down here. All right, guys, let's take a quick break here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode. If you guys have questions, please ask down below. Again, for the most part, this is our second war. We're going through the process again. There's a lot of things we're juggling, right? Because we built up that context, because we're getting deeper in the game. There's more stuff going on. A lot of this stuff probably isn't making sense. You guys are probably like, what the heck, Garrick? Slow down. Feel free to ask those questions. I'll answer all the questions in the comments. Twitch is also a good place to ask questions when we're live, which we play this game all the time on the Twitch. And we also have a Discord, which is a great place to ask questions and get help as well. But also, we're going to make more tutorials, right? We're probably going to do Portugal for a few more episodes just to kind of try to finish that story, that initial story of Portugal. And then we're going to move on to other countries and continue to go through the exact same progress. And hopefully through that little bit of repetition and building up that foundation, hopefully the foundation will get built. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.